Hey everybody, welcome in to Sports Live in the 215. I'm your host Connor Okuda, here to discuss the Eagles matchup with the Falcons on Monday Night Football that will take place tomorrow night. Obviously, um, that was a bad start. Let me shape up here. I apologize. Ugh. Here we go. I feel like this game will come down to four really key areas. Um, Number one, the play of the Eagles offensive line against Grady Jarrett and the Falcons defensive line. Of course, everybody around the NFL knows what kind of player Grady Jarrett is. Excuse me. He is an absolute game wrecker. Last week against the Steelers, he compiled 1.5 sacks. I want to say he had 6 tackles, 2 for loss. He was just all over the place. And if the Eagles hope to have any kind of success, objective number one will be neutralizing Grady Jarrett. Oh gosh. Number two, I feel like Devontae Smith has got to have a huge game with the absence of AJ Brown. Smitty will have the responsibility of taking on the matchup with the always dangerous AJ Terrell. That's what I was trying to say. Man, what's going on with me? I'm all out of the groove. I apologize. Let me get back into it. AJ Terrell in his in his 4 years in the NFL, AJ Terrell has developed quite the reputation for being a shutdown corner. Although because of the Falcons' dubious record over that span, he hasn't gotten the recognition he deserves, and I'm sure he's excited for the Monday night matchup against the Eagles' high flying offense, even though we will be missing AJ Brown. To that point, continuing on that point, I should say, we're gonna need all of our available receivers to step up, like Britton Covey, Johnny Wilson, Anaya Smith, and of course Jahan Dotson. We're going to need everybody to kind of share the load. It can't just be Devontae doing everything from the receiver spot. We're gonna need 2, 3, 4 guys to really show up and show out, and hopefully they can do that. And if they can, it should be it should be a fairly easy time for the Eagles on offense. If they can shut down Grady Jarrett and get some separation from AJ Terrell, if Devontae can get some separation from AJ Terrell, it should be quite the Eagles should win in a cakewalk. Now, as far as the defensive side goes, one guy that was really impressive in Week 1 was Zach Bond. He had the game-ending sack. Game-ending sack. I want to say he had 6 tackles, 2 for loss. He was just all over the field, and it was really impressive to see. For those that saw the Week 1 pod, I was at my cousin's wedding while the Eagles game was going on. Again, I still really don't know what they were thinking, putting their wedding on the first ever Friday game in NFL history, but that's neither here nor there. Congratulations to my cousin on getting married. That's awesome, but that's neither here nor there. Getting back to the game, one guy I expect to continue to have a really, really big game and to prove that last week wasn't just a one-off is Saquon Barkley. He had three total touchdowns. I want to say he rushed for something like 200 yards. He was absolutely dynamic, and he was everything the Eagles could have hoped for. He was everything the Eagles could have hoped for last week, and hopefully they can get more of the same from Saquon. And finally, another big big thing for me is finishing off drives in the red zone. Kirk Cousins, as we know, has had his struggles in prime time. So if you can put up 7 instead of 3 and really kind of put him on his heels and let your defense anchored by Bryce Huff, Josh Sweat, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and BG and all those boys, Zach Bond, Baby Axeman, etc. The Eagles should have a fairly easy time with the Atlanta Falcons. I honestly see this game as it's really going to come down to whoever wins the turnover battle and whoever can kind of limit explosive plays. Because if Kyle Pitts goes off for 8 receptions, like 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, I I believe it could be a long day for the Eagles defense. But if he goes for maybe 3 for 52 and Bijan and Drake London go for maybe like 10 or 9 combined receptions, barely over 100 combined yards, I feel like the Eagles could have a big primetime W locked up on Monday night. If everything goes well, I see this game being 41-27 Eagles. And finally, I'll delve into this. I'll delve into this more tomorrow. But yeah. If we finish off drives in the red zone, get Saquon Barkley involved early and often, and we can put pressure on Kirk Cousins, the Eagles should have a fairly easy time with the Dirty Birds from down south. All right. Thanks everybody for listening to this. I'll get back into posting content more regularly. This is just a quick little podcast episode to kind of get myself reacclimated. And tomorrow I'll post a quick hit for the Eagles and Falcons game. So everybody stay tuned for that. And thanks for listening. As always, go Birds.